Cyprian Ivanov. I sometimes wonder if one reason a lot of people seem to find cult leaders charismatic is that they're able to put words to a feeling the potential follower has that the follower isn't articulate enough to describe on their own. The articulation of rage or fear or disgust is coupled with a confident explanation that promises to be understandable instead of the ineffable complexity of the real world. The follower feels a sense of trust that the situation is being handled. Is the issue of cults using a separate vocabulary a matter of twisting existing concepts in followers, or is it often a case of being the first introduction to many of the words that are being twisted? Okay, thanks, Cyprian. It's a little combination of both. It really depends on what group you're talking about. Some groups, in fact, many of them, will really go the lazier route and simply, excuse me, and will simply retool or redefine existing words that are close to or similar to the concepts that they want to use. Or like Hubbard did, he'll take a fairly rare word out of the English, repertoire, like engram or postulate, and he'll give it a new definition for that's Scientology specific, let's say. Or, in the case of Dianetics, you have words like engram and lock and secondary. I mean, these are just regular words, but they have very specialized definitions within those contexts. Easier to do that because people are already familiar with the word in some sense, and they can sort of tie the new concept to the existing concept they already have, which is why, simple words are better. Um, Even, the words that Hubbard was coming up with to retool, like engram or postulate, are not, some 20 letter long, jaw breaking word to have to say. Um, okay, so you get that kind of thing happening. Where you have new terminology being used, it serves the same function or purpose, but it generally is used. If there would be any distinction between these two things, it would be because you want the person to think that what that word represents, the new word, let's call them the Hufflepuffs, let's say the Hufflepuffs are some, I don't know, some magical entity or something that nobody's ever thought of before. And those are your spirit guides or something. But instead of calling them spirit guides, we'll call them Hufflepumps. And that gives it an air of distinct specialty and uniqueness. It's only in our little, Humphol ology. We're in Humphology here. And in Humphology, the Hufflepumpums are your spirit guide, let's say. So that's a very unique, special, individual, distinct, word that makes it that we have tapped into some kind of knowledge or sacred truth that no one else has even come close to. So we had to make up an entirely new word for it. So it would contribute even more so to the sacred lore or sacred science of the cult belief system by using, completely new specialized terminology. I think, simple enough to understand. And that's my conjecture on it. I'm pretty sure somebody like Noam Chomsky would have a lot more to say about the use of regular words that are repurposed rather than creating whole new words, and what sort of other psychology might be connected with that. But that's what I thought of off the top of my head, and from my experience with Scientology and Hubbard's own explanations as to why he was retooling certain words and inventing other ones whole cloth. So there you go.